Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. All right, it's good to see you all today. We've got a great program today, but first of all, let me say I hope you all had a really good 4th of July. Yeah, and you weathered that hot weather out there. They say it's going to get a little cooler, so that's great. But today we've got a person with us today that's really going to share some good information with us. How many of you have ever had an issue with an organization and you couldn't resolve it? Money, retail, whatever the issue was, you could not, and you didn't know who to turn to for help. Many of you? Okay, all right, I bet. How many of you feel you've been scammed and you didn't know what to do about it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, we've got someone here today from Call for Action. I'm sure you guys have heard that if you watch Channel 3. They talk about Call for Action all the time, how helpful they are. Well, we've got Jackie Falch with us today, and she's going to talk to us about all of that, who to turn to when you don't know where to go. So please, welcome Jackie Falch.
Thanks, Janice. Hello, good afternoon. I am glad to be here. And I want to thank each one of you for taking some time to listen to this morning or this afternoon. What I'm going to do is to introduce you pretty briefly to Call for Action, who we are, what we do, how you can reach us if you need us. And then we're going to talk about staying safe when you're online, especially online shopping, and keeping your identity safe. And while that's two different topics, there's a lot of overlap in both of those as well. So, Call for Action is a nationwide nonprofit organization. We've been in business for over 60 years. And what we do is we become your voice when you're having any kind of consumer problem. So if you ordered something and it didn't come, or it was broken, any kind of consumer problem like that, having problems getting a refund out of a store, if you have paid someone to come in and do some home improvements and they never showed up, or they did part of the work and then disappeared on you, things like that. We work on landlord-tenant issues, problems with automobile, car repairs. We do a lot with telecommunications. People come to us when they're having problems with their telephone bills and service, internet, those type of things. We also do a lot in the area of healthcare and insurance billings. If you've ever gotten that EOB, that explanation of benefit, and thought you were charged for something incorrectly or didn't understand all the charges that were on there, we can help you with that. So, every Call for Action office, and there are 12 offices scattered throughout the United States, every one is sponsored by a local media outlet. And in Madison, our sponsor is WISC-TV, or Channel 3 is what you commonly know us as. So we are not a part of Channel 3. We're a separate organization. But their sponsorship gives us the physical space to work in, the tools we need to do our jobs, telephones, computers, all of that. And they promote our services. So if you watch Channel 3, and I hope you all do, you will often see blurbs about Call for Action and how to get a hold of us if you need us. Once in a while, you'll also see a news story that came from a Call for Action case. By far, all of the cases that we work on don't go to be news stories, but once in a while, a reporter hears about something that we're working on, and they're like, you know, the public needs to know that. There's a story that's going to air tomorrow on the 10 p.m. newscast, and then it'll be rebroadcast on Friday morning too, about a company called Brightspeed. Brightspeed gives internet and phone services in more rural communities, more outside of Dane County. But in the past several years, we have seen a ton of complaints about Brightspeed. And so one of our reporters did an investigation into them, talked to some people that had had some problems, and that story about Brightspeed is going to be airing tomorrow night. We've got 12 volunteers that work for Call for Action and talk to people and work on their cases for them. They're passionate about what they do. Every one of them works part-time, 3 hours a week. And cases, sometimes when people call us and they've got a problem, they call in, they talk to someone, and their first call, we can either resolve it for them or tell them who they need to talk to resolve it on their own, give them that tools. So sometimes cases are resolved really quickly. Other cases take a long time to get resolved. We have one case that closed this week. The customer got a refund of $4,600. That case came into us on July 6th of 2025, so it took a year to get a resolution for the customer, but they ended up with over $4,000 back in their pocket. So it is a win. We help people and small businesses when you have a consumer problem. So I always tell people when something happens and you just can't get a resolution, where you get to the point where you feel like you are hitting your head against a wall repeatedly, trying to get someone to listen to you or trying to get to the right person that can resolve your problem. That's when you might want to contact Call for Action. And at the end of my talk here, I'll have information up on the screen on how to get a hold of us. So the other thing we do, the other part of our mission, is education, and that's exactly what I'm doing today. I go out and I speak to people about Call for Action, about various consumer topics. So if any of you are members of other organizations who's ever looking for a speaker for 15 minutes, for an hour, for 2 hours, anything, let me know or get a hold of me. I can always do that. Here's a shot of some of our consumer advocates, our volunteers. Probably about twice a year the station does a live call-in show. Because our hours in the office is very limited, they open up the phone lines twice a year between 4 and 7, and we talk to people. And so this is some of our advocates at work a couple of years ago. So that's Call for Action. We're going to turn the tables. We're going to start talking about staying safe when shopping online or when you're online. And this gets to be more and more of a problem every single day. There are criminals out there that are finding new ways to find you and try and separate you from your hard-earned money. Some of the things that we're going to talk about are secure connections when you're online, payment security, using public Wi-Fi, spotting scams, researching sellers that you're making purchases from, the passwords you're using, checking your financial statements, freezing your credit, updating software, something called the 9-second rule, and then there's one bonus tip that I have for you. So let's start out and talk about using secure connections. Having a connection between yourself and whatever organization you're looking at, it's the digital equivalent of locking the doors behind you, making sure that your information is staying safe. And when you're online, you often see up in that URL at the top, HTTPS, and then there's a couple of slashes and some colons and some other things. HTTPS is Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. Sometimes you will see simply HTTP. That is not a secure connection. For a company to have HTTPS, and that S is critical, you want to be looking for that, that's secure. Companies have to be certified. I think it's once a year that those connections are certified. So the data is kind of scrambled and it's not easily taken. You'll also see up in that URL a little padlock icon, little lock icon. That's your key that the connection between yourself, the browser that you're using, and the web server is encrypted and secure for you. Using public Wi-Fi. When you come out to a place like this, or maybe you go into a restaurant or a coffee shop, and sometimes you want to use your phone typically, you're using public Wi-Fi, and sometimes you're connected to that automatically. Sometimes you have to physically do it and put it in a password. But anytime you're using public Wi-Fi, keep in your mind that you never know who's listening into that. It is a publicly broadcast transmission. And so if you're making a purchase, if you're going into your financial accounts, someone else can go in right along with you. So don't log into any bank or financial accounts when you're on public Wi-Fi. Never enter payment details. The way to stay safe is when you're shopping and when you're logging into accounts that are secure for you, sensitive accounts, do that when you're home and you're on your own safe Wi-Fi. Spotting scams and fake websites is getting harder and harder all the time. If you take a look at these two side-by-side pictures, they look exactly alike. They're from a company called Temu. One is real and one is fake, or it says AI for artificial intelligence copy. And we can't see the full URL for there. But my advice for you is anytime you go on a shopping site, to go up to that URL and look at it and make sure that it looks like it's good. Make sure it's the HTTPS, that it's got the padlock icon. I can't talk this morning. Make sure that it says the name of the company that you think you're going to. This company is Temu, T-E-M-U. You can see coming up there, the first two things look exactly alike, but if you go on, in one of them, the Temu is misspelled. So they'll throw in numbers and that, and you're going to a fake site that looks exactly like a real site that you're looking for. You've got to be careful, because if you go to the fake site, you enter your credit card number, now a criminal's got your credit card. So never be impulsive and just buy on a site that came up to you. You've got to do some research, you've got to slow down, you've got to take looks at things. Here's a better example of a real site and a fake site, and this is for PayPal. On this, if you look at the URL, won't show it up there. But if you take a look at the URL on the fake site, you'll see it's pay-pail.com. Now, if you're not looking up at the top, up at that URL, you think you're going into PayPal and you're entering your credit card information. And some criminal is getting that. So slow down, take your time, take a look. Research, stay safe. Speaking of research, research sellers. Just because you saw something advertised online, don't believe that the company is legitimate. And when you do searching for things online, you've got to be really careful. I imagine most of you have done a search on something like Google or something like Google. And when you do that, the first things that come up, next time you do that, take a look. The first one or the first several that come up is under the category of sponsored, and that's shown really small. Sponsored is a paid-for advertisement. Now, a legitimate company can pay for their company to come up first in those search results, so you go to them. A criminal can also create a fake website, sponsor it, so it's coming up first to you. And that happens quite often. So, what I do is I ignore anything that's sponsored. I scroll down a little bit more. Then before you buy from a company, if it's someone you haven't used before, do some research. Think of it like checking a restaurant review. Take a look at customer feedback and rating on the company. Take a look at what their return policy is. Again, does the website look authentic? Does it pass our security tests with the HTTPS and the icon for the little padlock? Where's the company located? And where is the merchandise shipped from? They might say they're located in North Carolina, but maybe their merchandise is shipped from Venezuela or China. Sometimes that's a problem. Check the company out on the Better Business Bureau site. Have they had complaints lodged there? We're going to move on and we're going to talk about passwords. And people grumble when I bring this subject up. We use passwords so often now. And every site wants you to have a different password, and it's really, really hard to keep track of all of our passwords. I know that myself. But having that strong password is like putting a high security lock on your front door again. Weak passwords, reused passwords are just an open invitation for these criminals and for hackers to get into your information. So it's imperative that you have unique passwords for every account you use. You know, that they're a mixture of uppercase letters, lowercase letters, some numbers or symbols thrown in. If you reuse your password, and many of us do, many of us have a standard go-to password that we use for different sites, and it makes life a lot easier. There's no doubt about that. But think about this. God forbid a hacker gets into your computer somehow. If you have reused the same password on many different sites, that hacker, that criminal can get into all those sites. They can get into your banking account. And they do it digitally, online, in just the time it takes us to snap our fingers. They're going to have a lot harder time. Maybe they did get into your computer, but if they've got to figure out a new password for your bank, and a new password for your investment account, and a new password for your online payment account, all the different things that you use, you're a lot safer. They're not going to go through all that. They're going to keep looking for someone that's easy to get everything from. Check your statements. Most of us do this, but as time goes on, I find more and more people who don't look at their statements every month. And sometimes our statements are mailed to us. We get a paper copy. Sometimes we have to go online and look at statements. And I think that's why we're doing it less, because it's an extra step for us. That didn't come in an envelope that it opened. But scammers, criminals, count on people that are not paying attention to their accounts. And there are things in place if you do get scammed, if you do get charged fraudulently, there are things in place that can help you get your money back often, but there's time limits on it. So be checking your statements at least once a month. Make sure the charges look right. If there's anything you question, call the organization and ask them about that. So we're talking about bank statements, credit card statements, bills that come to you, invoices, medical documents. We touched on that earlier. The medical documents that we get are so hard to read, so hard to understand, but take the time to go through them. It really helps you in the long run. Have any of you ever frozen your credit, or do you have your credit frozen? Few people. Good. It seems like it's intimidating, but it's not. There are 3 credit reporting agencies, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. You only have to contact one of them to freeze your credit, and they will let the other ones know. And what that means when you've frozen your credit is someone cannot take out credit in your name at all while it's frozen. Now say there is an instance where you want to go and buy a new car. You're going to have to unfreeze your credit for a time to do that, and that's just as easy as doing it. It's simply a phone call. They ask you some security information. You unfreeze your credit for a few times while you go through that loan process. It's an extra step, freezing your credit. It's a bit of a hassle, but really having that frozen keeps you safe in the long run. It's important. The next item on the list is software updates. You know, very often when we're online, we see this account, this application needs to be updated, and takes time. It's something nobody wants to do. I'll do it next time I go in. I'll do it tomorrow. Most software updates are put out by the company because they've had a breach in security. Either they've had a breach in security, or they've found somewhere that their application, their software can be breached by a criminal. So when something pops up and says you need to update this, do it. The 9-second rule. This is something we've kind of touched on, but now we're giving it a formal name, the 9-second rule. It's just a practical safety habit. And what it means is just take your time when you're online. Slow down, research that seller, look at the URL, make sure it's HTTPS, S for secure, and has got that padlock on it. Don't be making the impulse buys, because that's where you're going to have a problem, and you're going to need to contact call for action. And as much as we love helping people, we don't want to have to help people. So, the last one here is kind of a bonus tip, and that's identify your personal online support person. So I'm not talking about a tech support person. I'm not someone that you call and say, hey, my computer doesn't work, or I can't get into my Facebook account. I'm talking about a family member, a friend, someone you trust, that when something doesn't seem right, you, again, slow down that 9-second rule, you pause, you call them, and you say, hey, this is going on. They're not going to judge you. They're just going to be an extra set of eyes and ears for what you're doing to make sure that you're keeping yourself safe. So, that's it for the online shopping and staying safe online. I'm going to pause here and see if anybody's got any specific questions on that before I move into the next part about keeping your identity safe so that we don't forget any questions. So does anybody have anything that I can answer for them, or anything they want to share with the group? I've got someone with a question here.
I just got here, and it was just like you're in the middle of some, explaining things about identity theft and stuff, and I wish I had gotten here earlier so I could exactly know, the other talk, of what to do and what to not do.
Okay, we're going to talk more about identity theft in just a minute here. Your timing's perfect.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, say for instance you have family members that are in charge of your financials. And they have the passwords and everything. Once in a while you want to change, but then they'll say, listen, you'll forget this one. You know, so dealing with family members is a problem also.
It is.
So how do you deal with that?
Yeah, so the question is, when you have a family member that's helping you with your financial stuff and they've got your passwords and that, and then you want to change something, you're adding another layer, and it does make it a lot more complicated. But tell them that I said. You tell them Jackie said. Yeah, it is important to change those, and it is hard to remember, you know, and you can't, you can't remember all the different passwords you have. So you have to have one place that you write them down, you know, don't have it laying out on your desk, you know, in full view of anybody that comes in or that. Have it in a notebook or something that you always put in the same place, then you can find it. You've got to keep, and there are online applications you can use, but they can be complicated too. The easiest way, even though it's not the safest way, is to have those lists and be persistent with your family member when, you know, you want to change those things.
Your bank account online. You can do this easy now, Mom.
And it's not that easy for Mom. Exactly.
I like to see a person.
Yep. Go ahead.
So all the online data that goes in and out. As a family, I have 3 sons and myself, but they have friends, and we have a gaming cycle. So there's a lot of openings that are in that, but I don't think, are those secure? Or can you get sniped at the same time while you're playing with somebody in Houston, somebody in California, person in Milwaukee, person here in Madison? Does that affect? Can you get hacked when you're playing those games online?
I don't know. I'm not a gamer at all. I don't know anything about that. My gut is, yes, you know, you've got an open line into your computer, but I don't know. Is anybody else familiar with that? If you're gaming online and you're, you know, talking to people in different areas, different states, can they get into your computer?
Yes, absolutely. They have backdoors that they can monitor the entire thing. You can not know there's a 5th and 6th member of the group. So by the time you're playing your game or on a laptop or your phone, while you're doing that, they're inspecting the rest of your computer. The other part of it is there is one and only one internet, irregardless of all these companies. It's in Camp Williams, Utah. It's run by the government. They don't want you to know that. 1.5 million square feet of supercomputers. Every single thing on the internet is in the government's building. So they know everything that's on your computer. Every time there's an update, most of it is the government. I mean, do particle physics, astrophysics, in science. And I do a lot of stuff over, you know, new things that are coming up overseas. So they want to know. That's the reason why some of my papers get misplaced, diverted from one section to another. Oh, and the head of WikiLeaks, that's the reason why they're after him, because he disclosed what the government was doing and how they did it. They take whatever you have, they remove the title. Then that's on the 2nd week. 3rd week, they move it to a different location. On the 4th week, it goes back to digital code. It's all there, but nobody in this world could ever get it again. And I've had them take my things and move them to other things, other files, totally unrelated, and I had a number of things disappear. And yet when I go back and look, oh wait, it lists it's there. How come I can't find it? Because it's found in the listing, but it does not appear in the folder.
Or you can see
And if you
where
do a
it
folder check, yes, there's 8 documents in here. How come only 3 are showing? and little things like that. Oh, if you're buying things online, and I just stumbled on this, big announcement, oh, you can buy the Chinese car, instead of 64 or 68,000, buy it from us where the direct represented $38,000 to $40,000, maybe 47,000. And there was over 15 ads for this. Well, you know, this must be right. When you start checking the detail and the pictures, suddenly, oh wait, all of these came from 3 different lots. They put multiples in there so that you think that you can, these are all legitimate. My question is, why would you pay $36,000, $38,000, $40,000 to buy a Chinese car? For $3,000, get a ticket, go there and buy it for $8,000 to $12,000 and bring it home with you.
Yep, there's all kinds of ways, so.
No, you have to pay import and export when you buy a car overseas.
But you don't pay $40,000 in import tax.
You bring it back here to the United States, and you can pay over there, and the United States will let you pay when you get here.
They will not charge taxes on that are $30,000. They'll charge you 5%, 8%.
I say, check on it.
The other thing of it is, you can get the car, ship it to Canada, buy it from Canada as a used car, and then bring it in.
And now we're world travelers, so I appreciate that. And the beginning of that answered your questions, that when you're online gaming, someone could possibly get in. Yeah. Any other There's the gentleman in the yellow shirt first, and then I'll get back to you.
Does Call for Action have a on-staff lawyer?
No, and we are not lawyers, and as a matter of fact, anything that gets into the legal realm, we step out of. So, and your question, sir?
I hate passwords.
So do I.
Absolutely hate them. And I hate when they automatically, I have this happen with Epic quite a bit. They change the password. Now I don't know what it is. But anyways, I use the same password many times. There is a software and it's built something. The IT, you may know it.
Yeah. For keeping your passwords in? Yeah, there's a few different applications that you can use to keep your passwords in. I use one that's, oh gosh, now the name's gonna escape me. Key Manager.
I'm sorry?
Key Manager is one I use. There's a few of them.
Yeah, okay.
So, good. Well, let's move on.
Question.
Yeah.
You don't get into law, but when you're trying to find out a respectable lawyer, where can you go in Wisconsin to find that? So much of them, I had one lawyer who was very high on the list. He told me to leave my papers on his desk, and we went to court. Now this was about 6 months after I had a heart attack, and I was not a clear thinker. He then got with the state and said, no, work it this way and you'll win. He wasn't representing me at all, he was keeping it out. I won because I told the judge, wait, how could I have been going 30 miles an hour outside that when I parked the car 45 feet away? I won my case.
Good for you. Yeah, the question was how can you find a respectable lawyer? And I think the key question and the key word in that is respectable. And it's just your research, you trial and error. Talk to other people, see who they've used, who they like. So let's talk more about keeping your identity safe. So identity theft can happen to anyone, anytime. And we do a lot to try and stay safe, but it can still happen. Identity theft happens when a criminal gains access to your personal information. They can steal money from you, take over your accounts. They can get credit cards in your name. They can apply for jobs. They can rent an apartment, even buy a house. They can sell your information online. You want to do everything that you can to keep your identity safe. And as I said, it happens all the time. It happens in person. It happens online, on social media. It can happen on your phone. There can be a data breach that's totally out of your control. Stealing your wallet, that still happens, not as much as it used to. Criminals will dig through your trash. You put something out at the street, it is public domain. They go through it. They can steal your mail. They can put a credit card skimmer on an ATM. Can happen using public Wi-Fi. We talked about that earlier. Or just phishing, just out there trolling, trying to get your information. What information of yours can they use to steal your identity? Your name, your address, your birth date, your email, your phone number, your social security number, maiden name, medical information or military information or accounts, driver's license number, the VIN, the vehicle identification number on your automobile, your education records, your account numbers, your pension accounts, your employment details, your insurance information, and more. And a criminal does not need all of that to steal your identification. And maybe they just get a little bit here and a little bit there. And there are databases out there that compile all that information on Jackie Falch or on who you are. And pretty soon they get enough pieces of information and they can do really bad things. So, some simple things that you can start doing today to keep your identity safe. And the first one, and I tell this to people all the time, never answer an unexpected phone call. Even though that digital display says it's from your bank or from Medicare or from your health provider, if you're not expecting a call, don't answer it. That digital display can be manipulated and it might say UW Health calling and it's a criminal that's going to get bits of your information. If someone is trying to reach you by your phone and you don't answer, if they're legitimate, they're going to leave a message for you and you can call them back. Go ahead.
I got a weird phone call, saying that they were, I don't know, security something, or it was let's see if I have it here.
Yeah.
But, when I called, they didn't leave a message at all. So then I called back and then it had a recording call. Let's see, what was it? Maps, phone. Okay. So it was something about, an 800, no, it's a 1608-722-9785. And it was public service. Yeah, it was a public service phone call. And then when I called back, all I got was a recording. I couldn't.
Disconnected.
Yep. If you have any doubt, hang up.
Yeah, well,
Don't
I didn't
don't
know
push
if
buttons.
If my car got towed or what, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they'll get a hold of you. Yeah, you have to be skeptical. And the same thing goes for unexpected text messages that you receive, emails, pop-up messages when you're online. When in doubt, leave them alone. Watch for credit card skimming. Do you all know what that is?
No.
So if you use your credit card and you're inserting it, say, at a gas pump or an ATM, Criminals have a little tiny device that they put over that card slot. And when you, let's say you're getting gas. You put your credit card in, you pump your gas, it goes out, your card gets charged. But if a criminal has put that skimming device over that, that skimming device also collects your credit card information and your PIN number if you added it with your credit card. Then they come back later that day and they just pick the corner of that off, take that skimming device, it doesn't look any different than they're getting gas, and they've got everybody's credit card number that bought gas at that pump today.
Oh, yeah, but how do you know, can you tell?
Every time before I insert my card in somewhere, I go and I pick at it with my nail, because they come off pretty easy. It's for the ones where you stick your credit card in. There's also flat ones, if you've seen where you can tap your card instead of inserting it. There's ones that go over that. Whenever I use them, I pick at the corner first.
Yeah, but verbally you're telling me this, but, actually, when how can you tell? How can you tell?
You usually can't tell visually.
Yeah.
You have to try and uncover it. Did I see it? Yes, I did see a hand.
Yeah, with the tap ones, the scan, did you say there's some sort of a thing they put over that?
Yep. Most of the ones that I've seen have a little symbol on it with like an arc sign. And there's one, they have magnetic ones that look just like it. They paste over the top of it. So yeah, just like anytime you're inserting your card, tap your card, just take your fingernail and try and lift it up. The fake ones will come up really easy.
I guess I would suggest in your presentation in the future, have some pictures of those things.
That's a
so
good idea.
I
people can
think so.
see.
It would be great because otherwise, verbally, you're telling us that, but I don't know
What it looks like.
exactly what it looks
Those are
like.
good ideas. I appreciate that. Be careful of postal fraud. The post office will tell you that postal fraud is rampant. And I think most of us have put something in the mail, paid a bill or something, and it never got there, or somebody sent something to us and it never got to us through the mail, and we think, dang that post office and in losing mail. And it could be that it was lost. It could also be that it was stolen. So be skeptical. Think that your mail is going to be stolen. When you're mailing something, don't take it out to the street and put it in your mailbox and put your flag up, because your flag is saying, hello, I've got mail in here. This mail might be a check to my grandson. This might have a check in there. Checks can be washed out so easily. If you want a fun experiment, write a check and then take some fingernail polish or some rubbing alcohol and wet your finger and go over the check where you just write it and watch the ink disappear. It's a magic trick. It's great. So the next time you write a check, stop and take a look at the pen you are using. The pen should be a gel ink pen, G-E-L, because that can't be erased. I just had a case last month where a gentleman had paid a bill. Somehow it got stolen in the mail. His check was washed, rewritten for thousands of dollars, and cashed by a criminal. So be careful of that. Also, the next time you order checks, don't have them delivered to your home where they're sitting in a mailbox or sitting on your front step. Have them delivered to your bank and go into the bank and pick up the checks. You don't want that box saying deluxe checks sitting out somewhere for someone to steal. Check your credit report. Do that at least twice a year. It's probably okay, but you might find something on there that you didn't expect and you need to dive into. Carry with you only the credit cards that you need. Just because you have a lot of credit cards, you don't have to have all of them with you. They can be stolen. If you use payment apps, the most common is PayPal and Venmo. Sign out of them after you have used them. Be careful when you're speaking your information out loud. And where I see this happen the most often is in medical facilities. I've got a doctor's appointment. I walk up to the desk, and there's a lot of other people sitting in the waiting room here, and the receptionist asks me my name, and I say that out loud. They ask me my address, and I say that out loud. Sometimes they'll say, is your phone number this, and I confirm that. There are people sitting in crowded rooms jotting down bits of information. So be careful about where you are when you speak your information out loud. In that particular instance at the healthcare facility, what I do now when I go in is I hand the receptionist my driver's license. That's got a lot of that information on there. If she needs to know something that I don't want to say out loud, maybe my insurance information, I will ask them for a piece of paper, I'll write it down, give it to them, and then I ask them for that piece of paper back I don't trust.
What do you do about police?
Police is tricky.
No, police will call you up on the telephone and say, we want you to make a donation to the police. You don't know whether it's a scam or what it is.
It's a scam. Yeah, if you get a call from the police and they want donation, or the fire, or any of those public officials, it's a scam. So, in general, just slow down. As I said, be skeptical, always, be wary. So, that's all I've got. We've got a few more information, so I'll open it up again for more questions, or if anybody wants to share information. If you need to get a hold of Call for Action, you can always go online to Channel 3000, go to the Call for Action area. The first thing that pops up says, submit a complaint here. Don't write this phone number down because our phone number just changed this week, and I don't have new graphics. I apologize. But I'll tell you what the phone number is. If you want to call us, our phone number, the correct phone number, you can actually call this number and leave a message, and it does get to us, but it's going away. Okay, I'll hold on to give the phone number out. Before I say it, you can call us on the number I'm going to give you anytime. Leave a message, your name, your phone number, as much other information as you like. We'll get back to you within a couple of days. Right now, Channel 3000 is doing, or not Channel 3000, Channel 3 is doing a complete remodel of their building. And the whole building, except for the studios, is gutted. So we don't have a space to work, and we're all working from our homes. And we all work part-time. So you're not going to get a call back within the next hour. But you can always call and leave a message, and we are going to get back to you. And the phone...
It's not a scam.
What's that?
How do you know it's not a scam?
We're skeptical.
Clark, when you pick up your phone and you say hello, it's about 30 seconds before you have someone.
There's a delay when you've said hello before they pick up. And do you know why that is?
Because it's a scam.
Because it's a scam. So what she's saying is most scams is when people call you, you say hello, and then there's a delay of a few seconds before someone comes on the line. These criminals are in kind of phone banks, and their computer equipment that they're using will dial out to 10s, 20s, 30 numbers at a time. The first person that answers, they hit their computer and they answer that, so that's why there is that delay on that.
So what's the number?
The phone number, thank you for asking. Our phone number is 608-690-6722. I have a question here.
Earlier on a screen, it said that you had a newsletter. Could you tell us how to get that newsletter?
Yes, and I've got a clipboard up here. Once a month, we do a digital newsletter that talks about Call for Action, some of the cases we've been working on, different scams that are going around, things like that. And you can sign up and have that sent to you once a month. We do not send you anything else. We don't sell your number or that. So there's a blue clipboard I'm putting up over here right now. So you can sign up for the newsletter. Good question, thank you very much.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
The telephone companies now, the new telephones you got out now, you can set them up to say whether your number that comes up, whether it's a scam or whether it's not. But you have to set it up on your telephone
This
when you
could
buy.
be a scam.
Yep, most phones now, you'll get a display that says this could be a scam call. That's just another reason, if it's a call and you're not expecting it, don't answer it. Some of the phones you can set up too, so if a number calls you that isn't in your phone book, in your phone, a number that you call and you've entered as a contact, it goes directly to voicemail, your phone doesn't even ring. Some phones have that capability. So, anything else to share?
Ma'am? When you're talking, when you call somebody and there's a little bit of a delay or something just seems a little funny, that most often now is because you are not talking to a person. That is AI. They have already have their files, everything about you, what your interests are, and knowledge that is available. But now they're adding to their own, but they're orchestrating this phone call specifically for the things of your specific interest.
Yep.
But it's still all a scam.
Yep, well, this AI is adding a whole new layer to everything, there's no doubt about that. Well, thank you all for coming in and letting me speak. I hope everybody learned something quick and easy to protect your identity. Share it with your friends, and I hope to see you all again. Have a great rest of your day.